In the headlines, Governor El-Rufai raises alarm on insecurity, says terrorism in the northeast is a threat to the 2023 elections and population census. Wife of head of NSCDC's Special Intelligence Squad rescued. EFCC secures interim forfeiture of 40 properties belonging to Ekweremadu. And lastly, on the foreign scene, 9 health workers kidnapped in restive northwest Cameroon. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Updates. I am Martia Umar. And now the news in detail. Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai said the insurgency in the northwest represents a clear danger to the holding of the 2023 elections and census, if not nipped in the bud now. The governor is therefore advocating for the establishment of a Northwest Theatre Command, which will enable a holistic approach to counter-insurgency operations across the affected states. The governor made the statement shortly after receiving second and third security situation in the state from the Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan. The report.
Governor Nasir El-Rufai explained that the state government will continue to do everything within its powers to enhance security. According to him, the security challenges in the north requires establishing theater command to counter insurgency operations in the region. He added that the insecurity in the northwest presents a clear danger to the conduct of 2023 elections.
That lesson and the continued nature of the cross-state operations of these criminals informs the view of the Kaduna State government that a theater command similar to the one in place in the northeast is required. Effective security operations in the 7 states of the northwest and Niger State, which have continuous and contiguous forest ranges, require this approach. It is our opinion that the insurgency in the northwest today is not only more serious than what exists in the northeast, but presents a clear danger to the holding of the 2023 elections and national census, if not nipped in the bud now.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed explained that the Nigerian military has what it takes to handle the security situation in the country, saying the security alert issued recently by the United States of America was unnecessary.
And I want to say very categorically and without mincing words that whatever has been the intention of this security alert or this travel advisory, what it has done is that it has terrorized our people and it has set the nation in a panic mode. No doubt, the American government has a right to issue travel advisories to its citizens. But that should not go to the extent of scaremongering.
Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs Samuel Aruwan, while presenting his quarterly security report, said no fewer than 161 people were killed and 804 kidnapped in the last 3 months due to bandit activities in the state.
Now, in total, in first quarter, we lost 285 lives. 271 males, 12 females, and 2 minors.
And the areas where we still have challenges, especially in Birnin-Gwari, and bearing in mind the Birnin-Gwari, Maganda, Funtua axis, we are working to improve the situation in that general area. What we will not do is to go back into the past where criminal elements establish roadblocks and collect tolls and levies from commuters that ply that road. The road is free now. We have cleared the obstruction.
Kaduna State is one of the states in the northwest battling banditry and with terror groups occupying ungoverned spaces in Birnin Forest and other locations. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Still on security matters, the kidnapped wife of the head Commandant General's Special Intelligence Squad, Victoria Dandaura Apollo, who was taken away forcefully inside her living room, has been rescued. She was rescued and heard on Friday in Lafia after successful joint operations by a combined tactical component comprising the Commandant General's Special Intelligence Squad, NSCDC counter-terrorism operatives and NSCDC Special Female Squad in collaboration with the Nigerian Army, Department of State Services DSS and the Nigerian Police Force. Dandaura Victoria was kidnapped at her residence in Gidi Gidi around the Cattle Market, Lafia Nasarawa State on Wednesday, 2nd November 2022 at about 7 p.m. in the evening by unknown gunmen who stormed his residence, shooting sporadically in the air before whisking her away at gunpoint. His younger brother, Ezekiel Dandaura Samu, a personnel of the Corps serving in Nasarawa State Command who sustained gunshot injuries in the course of the attack, is still receiving treatment in a hospital facility and is in a stable condition. Statement from the Director, Public Relations at the NSCDC headquarters, Olushola Udumosu, said that NSCDC's Commandant General Ahmed Abubakar appreciated the support and cooperation of sister security agencies in the course of the rescue operations. And the Federal High Court in Abuja on Friday ordered an interim forfeiture of 40 landed properties belonging to embattled former Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu, who is currently in custody in the United Kingdom. Justice Inyang Eko made the order following an ex parte motion filed and moved by Ibrahim Buba on behalf of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, ordered the EFCC to publish the interim forfeiture order of the properties in a national daily within 7 days. He specifically directed that anybody who had an interest in the forfeited properties should indicate within 14 days of the publication of the interim forfeiture order from the court. Justice Eko adjourned the matter till December 5, 2022 for a report in the case if there's any objection from members of the public regarding the said properties. The interim forfeiture order covers Ekweremadu's properties as follows: 10 properties in Enugu, 3 in the United States of America, 2 in the United Kingdom, 1 in Lagos, 9 in Dubai, the United Arab Republic, and 18 located in the Federal Capital Territory. As still on judicial matters, a Federal High Court sitting in Kaduna has dismissed a suit by APC governorship aspirant Mahmood Sani Shaban, challenging the emergence of Senator Uba Sani as Kaduna State governorship candidate of the APC. The presiding judge, Justice Muhammad Garba Umar, delivered the judgment on Friday, and it said that the suit lacked jurisdiction to deliver judgment on the said matter. And moving on, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has distributed 370.5 tons of assorted grains to the Zamfara State government. Director General Mustafa Ahmed handed over the relief materials to the Zamfara State Deputy Governor, Senator Hassan Nasiha, in Gusau on Friday for onward distribution to the most vulnerable persons and flood victims in the state. The report.
The Director of Finance, Sani Jiba, is representing the Director General of NEMA at this ceremony, in which 370.5 tons of grains and relief items are being handed over. These include 166 tons of maize, 142 tons of sorghum, and 62.5 tons of millet, 1,000 bags each of rice and beans, 75 bags of salt, and cartons of tomato paste, seasoning cubes, and vegetable oil. He says the grains were part of the 12,000 tons of assorted food items from the National Strategic Reserve stock, released by the federal government for distribution to 36 states of the Federation and Federal Capital Territory. NEMA also presented non-food items, where 8,000 units of nylon mats, 1,000 insecticide-treated mosquito nets, cartons of bathing soap, 2,500 pieces of Guinea brocade, 1,000 pieces of wares, each for women, men, and children, among other items.
Ably being led by our sister, our mother, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, to deliver relief materials on behalf of the federal government of Nigeria to the victims of the recently flood disaster, and at the same time for grains distribution to persons that are vulnerable, that has been released from the strategic reserve by the federal government.
The Deputy Governor of Zamfara State, while receiving the items on behalf of the state government, thanked the federal government for the timely intervention.
Let me begin by extending our profound appreciation to the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, and of course, the National Emergency Management Agency for this support and many other numerous intervention programs in Zamfara State.
The Emir of Gusau, Ibrahim Bello, appreciated the federal government for the gesture to the vulnerable persons in the state.
We are very grateful for this assistance given to our people. They say what is worth doing is worth doing well. And we are very proud of our daughter, who very much cares about what is happening in her environment.
The federal government has admitted that these items cannot adequately compensate for the traumatic experiences of persons affected by disaster or alleviate their sufferings. This is why it is important that these items get to the people who need them. In this vein, the state's Deputy Governor, Senator Hassan Nasiha, has warned that any official caught diverting the relief materials in the course of distributing them to the beneficiaries will be prosecuted.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at Are Pets a Man's Best Friends? Details of that story and more after this break. Stay with us.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the news updates on Trust Television. A recap of our top stories. We told you earlier that Governor El-Rufai raises alarm on insecurity. He says terrorism in the northeast is a threat to the 2023 elections and the population census. Moving on to more stories. Rented crowd at political rallies is a common phenomenon during electioneering years in Nigeria. And the people are often induced with gifts and all kinds of monetary promise to form a large crowd at a political campaign venue. In this report, Bello Musa speaks to analysts who opine that political crowd renting only promotes thuggery and hinders democratic growth. Take a look.
Rented crowd is when one hired people to form large crowd at the political rally, protest, or other public events. Individuals are often attracted to attend political rally by inducing them with money or other gift to create a large crowd for a particular candidate or political party. Many, however, believe rented crowd is a deceit and setback to the growth of democracy.
So usually such crowds, to me, to my own understandings, is deceit. They rented the crowd to deceive the people. Yes. You find out, especially if people are disenchanted. They would not like to come to that political event. So what will they do? Is to sponsor people to come. And at the end of the day, you see them giving people 1,000 naira, 500 naira.
Some believe that unless leadership recruitment process is addressed, Nigerians will continue to witness renting of crowd, vote buying, and other irregularities in the electoral process.
So we should have a leader that is bold enough to stand up. That's why I said earlier on, to unite the people, we have to address the leadership question in Nigeria. Unless we address it now, it will boomerang in the near future. Because the army of unemployed youths I'm seeing around is disturbing. We have almost a near collapse system. If you look at our education, if you look at about health.
In Electoral Act 2022 as amended, it comes with a lot of provisions. And those provisions that the Electoral Act come with provide for certain level of punishment for people who, most especially thuggery, vote buying, renting crowd to be part of political activities. I think the Electoral Act has taken care of that. What needed to be done is for the government to follow it up to implement those Electoral Act. I think the police, or rather the security agencies, should be able to work assiduously in ensuring that they carry out the responsibility as assigned to them by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
As campaigns gather momentum, some unemployed may be bracing up for opportunity to be paid at political rallies, though voters are admonished not to allow money to influence their choice of political leaders in 2023. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
And now we'll take a report of Bello Musa in a federal high court sitting in Kaduna, as the court has dismissed the suit by APC governorship aspirant Mahmoud Sani, questioning the emergence of Senator Uba Sani. Take a look.
The court, according to the ruling, declined hearing the suit as it has no jurisdiction to entertain the suit, which should have been filed in Abuja. Counsels to Uba Sani and the APC speak.
The court decided to agree that there is no jurisdiction because the case was filed contrary to the provision of the law. So therefore, the entire case is struck out. That's what happened.
We contested the suit and we filed several grounds of objection to the jurisdiction of the court. And then also the main suit itself, we filed the necessary processes challenging the locus of the plaintiff to file the suit in the first instance. And the judge, in his wisdom, in delivering his ruling to our objections, stated that if just one of the several objections that we have raised succeeds, there will be no need to go into the other objections. And one of them succeeded, and that ended the matter.
On his part, the counsel to Mahmoud Sani Sha'aban John Michelia reacted to the judgment.
Like we always say, ours is to present, the judges to decide. But the good thing about the judicial system is it doesn't end in the trial court. There's an avenue to go upstairs, that's to the Court of Appeal, to test this decision, to see whether the judge was right. And if the Court of Appeal think that decision is faulty or wrong in law, they will set it aside and do the needful. So personally, as a lawyer, definitely, because I argued it, I told him he had jurisdiction, and because the effect and the course of action, the effect is within Kaduna. So personally, I feel that they should have decided otherwise.
It could be recalled that Mahmoud Sani Sha'aban had filed a case challenging the legality of the emergence of Uba Sani as governorship candidate of the APC, alleging that the party primary election was conducted without legal and due delegates. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
And now moving on to more stories. People keep pets for different reasons. Some just for the love of animals and others for the health benefit attached to it. In this report, Noah Samson examines the different reasons why people in Nigeria keep pets.
Keeping of pets at homes has been practiced from prehistoric times to the present, and as pets are found in nearly every culture and society. Pet keeping apparently satisfies a deep and universal human need. In Nigeria, like other parts of the world, people do keep pets, but what are the reasons?
Some as companions at home, as they have something to play with or interact with. Some for security reasons.
I think people keep pets because at times pets are emotional support animals. Okay, they behave as humans. And actually, I grew up with pets around me, so I can't see any reason why people should not have pets.
I think people keep pets so as to, okay, for instance, people keep dogs so they help them exercise. I have a neighbor who goes out with his dog every day, so I believe the dog accompanies it. Sometimes the dog runs and the neighbor runs after the dog.
While some people are animal lovers, others have different opinion on keeping animals at home as pets.
Okay, one of the reasons I hate pets is because when I was growing up, my mom used to have these cats, very annoying cats. The cat poos on my bed. I don't like cats, I don't like dog, I don't like pets generally.
Personally, I don't like pets because some of them might be dirty, some of them, the way they be doing, I don't like seeing them, especially when you see pet dog, all those cats at home. I don't like the way they play around.
However, there are many health benefits attached to owning pets. They can increase opportunity to exercise and socialize. It also gives people opportunity to have regular walks. And with pets, we can decrease blood pressure and cholesterol level. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And in business news, the Naira has been seen struggling against the value of the dollar, resulting in skyrocketing prices of goods and services. Despite policies made by the Central Bank of Nigeria, several factors are contributing to the Naira's volatile nature. Chamunda Beg explores the reasons for its recent fall against the dollar.
The Naira opened this year trading in the parallel market at 570 Naira to the dollar. Today, the figure has risen to 850 Naira to the dollar. The Naira, which was already struggling, has now collapsed even further just a week after the central bank announced plans to redesign the three major denominations. However, is this to blame? And could Nigeria be looking at a further drop?
It's going to go higher. The reason why this is happening is because of the change of currency. And what is happening now is that for the fear of people not being able to use the currency now in the future, they are moving to dollar, a more usable currency, a universally accepted currency.
Following the announcement, some experts had speculated that the downward trend in the strength of the Naira will stabilize. However, Dr. Audu has a different take on the matter.
There's what they call the speculative demand for money. People buy to speculate. Oh, what's going to happen tomorrow? Is the market going to be good? Now, that's what's going on now. The speculation, the demand for dollar is driven by speculation. So, maybe after the currency has been changed, some people just say, why should I even change to Naira? Let me just leave my currency in dollar. It's universally accepted. And that is where it will remain.
There is an urgent need for a sustainable solution.
Yeah, the suspension of CBN intervention of Forex to BDCs is also one of the contributory factors of this Naira fall. So we plead with the government to find a way of seeing how they can resume and continue with the intervention exercise.
Why do we demand dollar? We have a food import bill of $5 billion. We're always buying things abroad. That needs to stop. We need to look inwards. We need to look at other sectors. We need to put money in the agricultural sector to revive the agricultural sector, to begin to export so that we will shore up our own reserves and have more dollars.
The basic infrastructures has to be put in place. Electricity, good road networks, the railways, where goods can be delivered to where they are needed most.
Nigeria's overdependence on importation continues to be a major problem for the country's economy. Chamun Dabing, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And Twitter sacked half of its 7,500 strong staff on Friday as new owner Elon Musk launched his major overhaul of the troubled company just a week after his blockbuster takeover. An internal document seen by AFP said roughly 50% of employees were impacted and will be denied access to company computers and email in an immediate basis. Workers around the world were shown the door and took to Twitter to vent their frustration or disbelief and say goodbye to one of Silicon Valley's most iconic companies. Ahead of the layoffs, Twitter closed access to its offices worldwide, asking employees to stay at home to await news of their fate through an email. The call is part of the Elon Musk's part to find ways to pay the more $44 billion deal for which he took on billions of dollars in debt and sold $15.5 billion worth of Tesla shares, his electric car company. And lastly, on the foreign scene, 9 health workers have been kidnapped from a government-run hospital in Cameroon's restive northwest. The area is one of the 2 regions where armed separatists have been fighting government troops to create a breakaway state. Archer Kennedy Ngul, mayor of the town of Batibo, where the kidnapping took place, said the health workers were abducted on Thursday and were still being held. Ngul did not give further details as he was not in town when it happened. A spokesperson for the Ambazonia Governing Council, whose armed wing Ambazonia Defense Forces is the main armed separatist group operating in the area, denied responsibility for the abduction. Medical workers have been frequently targeted since Cameroon's Anglophone crisis turned violent in 2017. And that wraps up the news update at this hour. For more, you can follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.